So today we're going to do a fun beading thing because I'm noticing all these places on the interwebs that are trying to sell you these little daisy bracelet things that I was making in the 7th grade and giving to all my friends. So we're going to make them. First thing you want is a length of, you can use fishing wire, you can use beading wire, anything you want. You should probably cut wire with something that isn't scissors, but I'm not listening to that recommendation, so you don't have to either. All right, now that I've cut that, if you use a heavier wire like that, you don't have to worry about things such as a bead needle. They make little needles that are super fine, that are designed to go through the eye of a needle, and in my experience, they don't work much at all. So don't waste your money and instead get a little bit of a heavier thing. That's what I have. I have it because it was on the shelf. I don't know how it works. Let's find out together. So I have a bead palette thing somebody donated to the library, and I specifically have it here today because it's going to tell me if I'm in frame. That's the only reason why I'm using that. So you don't need one of those. There's so many things here you don't need today. Let's see what kind of finding or fastener that I have here today. We are, for the record, specifically using stuff that was just donated to the library here. So I got a little guy. Look, it doesn't match. Using it anyway. And do I have a little other end thing? Something tells me those aren't supposed to go together. Do I have one that is supposed to go together? Maybe not. Maybe not at all. You know what? It goes together now. That's the thing you have to know about jewelry things. I mean, you could make sure things go together well, or you could just live your life. We're gonna live our lives. They might not be the best lives, but they're the lives we have. The lives we have. Okay, so I'm gonna use some seed beads. Don't really have a huge color selection of these guys. Those are kind of thick. Maybe I won't use those or those. Ooh, that one's open. Okay, it looks like we're using the open one. You can use any colors, obviously. This is not important, the color choice. So, first step, you've got your end here. I've got too much stuff. Shift it out of the way. Here we go. Let's go ahead and tie a knot in our beading wire. Now, the important thing about this is to understand that any knot can come undone. And that's why you might notice I have super glue here next to me. Now, I should mention that due to an unfortunate accident involving super glue, my back pocket, and a burn from an exploding tube of super glue in my back pocket and everything therein, I am banned from using super glue. Kind of. But no one's in here right now. So let's use it. So I just crappily tied that together. But it doesn't matter how bad I did. Just go ahead and trim that sucker off. And let's go in here. Shh. If you don't tell, I won't tell. I've already gotten super glue on myself. But so far I have not glued my pants to my behind. So we're doing great. We're doing great. Not saying that that's what happened, but that's what happened to me before. It was really funny. Lots of people thought it was funny because I did it in front of a whole class of people I was teaching how to do things. So don't maybe do that. So what I'm doing is I'm just dotting some glue here. Try to remember to stick my hands out more. On top of that little clasp that we already tied on. And if you stick a little bit of glue on top of your knot like that, your knot can't come undone. Also, I no longer have any fingerprints. We're just gonna go with it. It's fine. Everything's fine. So my life will be easier if I just dump these out. I'm never gonna be able to get them back in their containers again. That's just part of life. It's just part of life. We're gonna see if Laura remembers how to do this. I want this to be my background color because I don't really care. So I'm just gonna do a couple of these guys. I'm just noticing that these are slightly different colors of orange that are together, and the same is true about the blue. I don't really care. See, we're just gonna get a little, maybe I'll do a pattern. Maybe we'll do a pattern with this. It'll be fun. Everybody loves a pattern, right? I'm sure they do. It's fun. Patterns are the best. Okay, I'm doing a little, oh gosh, why am I still sticky? Why am I still gluing things to myself? Why is this happening? Also, why did no one stop me from opening the super glue and getting it on myself? These beads you can find at your friendly neighborhood Walmart, or at least you could before the pandemic, the last time I went into a Walmart, or at any craft store, or on the interwebs. They have them there too. All right, I just did a little thing to get me started. Now, will I remember how to do this part? I don't know. We're gonna find out. You switch colors to your main flower color. I think you do 3. So we're gonna do 3. Watch me have to stop this and go check. Came back, and what did I find? I found some fishing line. We are enjoying today an experience in which I am just doing my best to remember something and remembering it wrong. Okay, so I've got a length of, instead of this wire, forget the wire. Don't you love craft fails, Laura? This is great. This is what we're here for. I now have myself my very own fishing line, which means you're not going to see anything I'm doing. There's not enough caffeine in the world for this craft. I remember now why I stopped making these. I remember that. I stopped making them because I couldn't see them, and I was in the 7th grade and I couldn't see because that's how terrible my eyesight is. My eyes. Okay. We've got 5 blue beads. So string 5 blue beads, or of your main color. Thread on 1 fancy bead. In my case, it's a white bead. It's not really fancy. It's just the bead that is going to be the middle of your flower. And in my case, that is white. So then you want to take the end of your thing, go back through the very first blue bead that you put at the beginning of starting your flower situation. Okay? Now pull that guy through. All the way through. Look at that. you now have half-ish of a daisy. So stick on 2 more blue beads. One, 2. We did that. And then go back through the blue bead that is right on top of your white bead. You're going to go through it going up. If you can see it, which I can't. Okay, we got it. We got it. So just go ahead and pull those through. Tighten that up, and then you have a little daisy. The number of these I made in junior high, you would not believe. So I'm going to work on this for a while, and then I will show you what it looks like when I am done. This might not look done, and it's because it's not, but I just can't go on anymore. So I'm going to tell you how to end it. We're going to say that we made a child's bracelet. So you just made a bunch of little daisy guys, and I'm proud of you for doing that, and now you have flower friends. So I put 3 beads already on because that's part of my little pattern. I'm going to add a few more. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just give up. Like I do with everything else in my life. No, never mind. 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna put 3 more. We're gonna end with 10 because I think I started with 10. Okay, there's 10. Look at that. This would fit a child at this point. I'm not a child, but it would fit one. So we're gonna say that's good enough, right? It's good enough. So thread on your little clip, your lobster claw thing to the end there. And then we're just gonna tie it on, just like you tied on the other one. You want to try and get it as tight and close as possible. Like that. You want it real tight. And you're going to tie little knots like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Because you don't want this coming undone. It's a pain when it does. Then you have to rethread the whole thing, and as you can see from the fact that mine would fit a child, I find that not entertaining, the threading of this. So maybe you wouldn't enjoy it a second time. I don't know. Maybe you would. Maybe you have better vision than me. Probably you do. Probably you do. Okay, so I did that a bunch of times. Trim, super glue, and then you find your knot, dab it with your super glue, glue it to your hand, and then your bracelet's done. Isn't that pretty? Now I just have to find like a 4-year-old to give this to, even though it's a choking hazard. Does anyone have any children that they don't mind choking on small beads? Nobody? No takers? That's too bad. Because that probably wouldn't even fit a 4-year-old. But that's what it looks like when you make one. And I recommend putting on some music, sitting down with some friends when we can again, and just making a bunch of them because they're fun. They're just not fun when you're by yourself alone in a room with no music on and no audiobook and no podcast and no entertainment. Like, put on the TV and then make this. Just don't do it alone because you'll get a little crazy. But anyway, I think they're really fun, and they're being sold at all the fancy shops now.